This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Do you know how hard it was for this team to make me feel like this, to make me feel as pissed off, as deflated as I am right now? And they've managed to do it. Only the Angels. Leave it to the Angels. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and they have done the unthinkable, the unimaginable, the impossible. The Angels played one baseball game today, and they took 2 L's. 2 L's. They played one game and took 2 L's. They came into today's game with the opportunity to complete a sweep, an opportunity to go right back to 500, 48-48, going into the All-Star break, a big improvement on last season. The vibes would have been immaculate. They came in, and again, even if they lost this game, if it was a close game and it wasn't as frustrating as it was, and there wasn't the other foolishness that happened today with this franchise, it would have honestly been okay. We are reasonable people here. If we lost this game 3-2, made a decent draft pick, you would have said, all right, we already won the series. Do you know how hard it is to come into a game where you have already won the series and come into a all-star break where you have already exceeded expectations of many after what happened last season? Do you know how hard it is to come into a game when you have already set yourself up? You've already made it okay to lose this game. And yet you're so dysfunctional as a franchise that you still find a way to piss off your fan base. You still find a way. Are you kidding me? Not even to get into my personal stuff. It's been a great weekend for me. I bought my car. I know you guys were asking about that. As you all know, I am a diehard Chelsea fan. Champions of the world. What a morning it was for me. The only thing that could have made today a disaster for me personally, made this whole weekend, this whole first half of the season, which has been a successful first half of the season in the eyes of many, the only thing you could do is lose this game in the manner you did and absolutely throw away the number 2 pick in the draft. And we will get into that pick later. Again, this is a post-game show. I'm not even really supposed to talk about the draft, but I'm not dumb. I'm a fan like you guys. I know that we can't go 20 minutes together in the same space without talking about it. So we'll get to that after the break. But let's talk about the game, because in case you somehow didn't watch, the Angels lose 5-1 to the Diamondbacks. And again, a game that they didn't have to win. You won the last 2. You've already won the series. We would have been reasonable fans and gone, okay, we lost a close game if nothing else bad happened today. But the way you lose this game is so frustrating. 2 pitchers that are around the same quality. Kelly came into this one 7-5, the ERA under 3.5. Soriano came into this game 6-6, the ERA under 4. And the way you lose this game is offensively you did nothing. Defensively, you ruined this ball game. And was Soriano on point? No. But did he deserve to give up 5 runs in this game? Absolutely not. And that's where we start this one.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Pretty simple. The turning point is the top of the fourth. Again, the vibes couldn't have been any higher, even coming into the top of the fourth inning after the wins yesterday and the day before, and after the bottom of the third inning where Mike Trout does it again with an RBI single in the bottom of the third. That made it 1-0. I was already, again, you know me, I have to plan my thumbnails, the talking points for the video. I was planning in here to come in here if the result held and say, Mike Trout's back, guys. He did what he did yesterday, 4 RBIs. He's had a great couple of weeks. We talked about it on the show yesterday. He gets an RBI single here to put the Angels up 4-0. The vibes were so high. 1-0. Trout does it. And then the top of the fourth happens. And it starts with the walk. And whenever an inning starts with a walk, it rarely ends well. But boy, oh boy, I don't think we could have imagined how bad this was. Because after walking Perdomo, Soriano that is, Josh Naylor gets a base hit. It's first and second with nobody out. And then we get an error by Yohan Moncada. Instantly scores a run. Perdomo scores. Naylor gets to second. It's first and second. Nobody out. Game tied at 1 when there should have been at least 1 out on the play. Then Soriano does his job. And I saw some people on Twitter being critical, and I get it. You would have liked to see him get out of this inning, right? But let's be honest. The guy got completely abandoned by his fielder there and then still gets 2 outs right away. He gets a pop out and he gets a strikeout. In his mind, and in all of our minds, those should be outs 2 and 3. The inning should be over, right? He did his job. And then, of course, it would have been nice if he still got out of the inning unscathed or giving up just the 1 run and not collapsing like he did, and he absolutely deserves some criticism. But, of course, the turning point is that error, right? Because then even after getting those 2 outs, Blaze Alexander hits a double on a decently hit ball. Wasn't even a frozen rope or anything, just a ground ball in the right place. And then Taylor Ward decides not to throw the ball into second correctly. Don't really get it. More of the story, there's 2 doubles, back-to-back doubles, where neither of those should have resulted in runs if there wasn't an error. And then Taylor Ward misplays one of the doubles and should be able to cut the guy off at second. Doesn't. And just like that, what should be a 1-0 lead, or at worst a 1-1 lead on an unearned run, is suddenly 4-1. 4-1 Diamondbacks. Right around this time, the draft is starting, and we eventually hear the news that the Angels make a questionable selection that we will get into. Soriano didn't help his case here in the top of the 5th, where he gives up a 1-out walk and then a 2-out double to Suarez, who has been an absolute menace this series. 2 home runs yesterday, gets the RBI double there after getting the fielder's choice earlier. He had a heck of a series. He's an all-star. He's a home run derby snub. He killed us today. But the moral of the story is you got to make that play, Moncada. You got to make that play. And none of this would have happened. Talk about a vibe switch. Talk about the vibes being killed, right? The one thing you couldn't have happen is losing this game in the manner you did. Not losing it because it was a thriller, a coin flip. There you go. That you lost at the end. No, this is a game where you handed them at least a couple, if not all 4 of those runs in the top of the 4th. Then you give up 1 more in the 5th. It's 5-1, and the vibes are gone. And it just kind of felt like this team gave up. They ran out of gas. The energy was so high coming into this game. We know how bad this team is on Sunday day games, and it continues. You fell behind 5-1, and from there, the lineup just didn't do anything. 3 hits for the Angels, 3 errors for the Angels. That's about all you need to know. We praised this team for the lack of strikeouts the last 2 games. Well, here's 9 strikeouts in this one. They did have 6 walks, but only 3 hits. So you combine for 9 walks or hits, 9 strikeouts. That's not going to get it done. You go just 1 for 6 with a runner in scoring position. That one from Mike Trout, and the Angels blow this game. A game that, again, did we need them to win this game? No. Would it have been really nice? I mean, talk about how great it would have been to be 48-48, to sweep the Diamondbacks, to make a good pick today. Oh, we could have been celebrating going into the All-Star break. And instead, and then if you're not celebrating, you could have gone 1-1. You could have won the game or lost the pick or lose the game, still win the series. And you don't even need to make the pick that everyone wants, because again, there was a debate about who to pick, but you picked the guy that nobody expected. And I'm getting ahead of myself because that's just where my mind is right now. But the moral of the story, the Angels offense didn't do much. The Angels defense was atrocious, and the Angels pitching was okay. The final stat line for Soriano, 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, but only one of them earned. 3 walks, 3 Ks, but 3 errors from the Angels. The throwing error, 2 errors from Moncada, a throwing error and a fielding error. He's got 6 already. And then Kevin Newman with a throwing error as well. So I don't think that stat's right about Moncada having 6th inning, I believe. No, not 6th inning. I don't know what the 6 is there, but moral of the story, 2 errors from Moncada, 1 from Newman, 2 guys who don't contribute enough offensively, or at least haven't yet, to justify the mistakes there. So very frustrating. We did see a nice bullpen appearance from Jake Eater. I don't know how you say it, I'll be honest, but he looked good. He's only had a couple appearances this year. But he comes in and he does his thing. 4 innings of scoreless ball, just 2 hits and 1 walk, 4 Ks. So shout out to him. He was great. But the moral of the story is the vibes were killed in the top of the 4th. And boy, oh boy, were the vibes killed just a bit after that with our draft pick. We will get to that after our break here. I know everyone's already talking about it. No one's even, look at how bad this pick was, that in a game where you lose 5-1 and miss an opportunity to have a sweep, no one's even talking about the game. Everyone's talking about the pick. So, again, that's why, despite this being a post-game show, I got to talk about the pick as well. We're going to take our break, and we'll get to that draft pick right next. Now, today's show is once again brought to you by Gametime. We've all been there, logging on early and waiting forever for concert tickets to go on sale, only to lose your spot for a show you've been dying to see. Live music should be about making memories, not dealing with the stress of ticket shopping. That's where Gametime comes in. Gametime makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever. In addition to sporting events, of course, as you know, prices actually drop as it gets closer to showtime, and you can save up to 60% off with their killer last-minute deals. I use Gametime for everything, whether it's concerts or games. I always talk about the time I used it 3 times in like a 5-day span in New York. I used it when I go to just about anything, right? Concerts, it's the best because of a bunch of reasons. One, if you ever wonder what your view will look like before you buy, the app actually shows you with a panoramic seat view, so there's no surprises. The best feature by far is the Gametime Zone Deals, where you just go to the section and it shows you the best deal in that section. It's not going to show you every ticket listed in that section. That's a waste of time. It's going to show you what it strongly believes is the best price, the best value in that section. So it saves you time when you're doing it last minute, right? And with Gametime, the price you see is the price you pay. There's no hidden fees. If it says it's $40 and you click it, you're not going to then end up paying $80. You're actually going to pay $40. And if you're worried about what happens if plans change, no worries. The Gametime guarantee has your back with cancellation protection and more. So take the guesswork out of buying concert and show tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Back here live on a disaster edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Not only do the Angels lose this ball game here, you come in, again, the vibes couldn't have been any better. The expectations couldn't have been any lower in the sense that you didn't even expect or need this team to win for this to have been a successful series. You've already won the series. For this to be a successful homestand, you've already done that. If you want to get greedy and have a win, I don't blame you, but no one would have torn into this team if they lost a close game today, and that was it. We all know that this day was more so about the draft pick. But you lose in the manner you do, where you have as many errors as hits. That's infuriating. And then the cherry on top is this darn draft pick. And Angels win. You summed it up perfectly. He says, what a disaster for the Angels. In case you missed it, by the way, I should probably not jump the gun here. The Angels were picking number 2 in the draft, in case you somehow don't know. Huge expectation was that the Angels were going to take a starting pitcher, of course. I know that Ethan Holiday was there, available. Would have been very interesting if you take him. He is by far really the only way you could justify taking a position player is if he's the clear number 1 talent, and it felt like he was, right? So he was there, but everyone was expecting the Angels to take a starting pitcher. And there was good options, really good options. I know that the Super Halo Bros were really pro taking Seth Hernandez. He's a local guy, from Corona in high school. We know that a lot of the reports we saw were that Perry Minasian wanted to take a guy who could contribute immediately. Well, surprise, surprise. That's what happens when you've got a GM who knows his head is on the chopping block if things don't go well in the next year or so, right? Is he going to draft a guy that's going to take 5 years to develop? Heck no. He's going to take a guy who's fresh out of college, ready to contribute in 6 months, right? And so not surprised to see that. I know the Halo Bros were pro taking Seth Hernandez because it feels like the highest upside of anyone, right? But while I agreed, I did not expect them to make that move. They didn't expect them to make that move either, because we knew that Menagian and just the way this team thinks, they want ready, MLB ready, college prep players, right? So, okay, Seth Hernandez, fine. You take him out. You've still got Ethan Holiday there if you just want the best talent, although he's a high school guy, but you've got Cade Anderson. You've got him right there. You've got him right there. You got him right there. And the Angels elect not to take him. The Angels elect not to take Cade Anderson. And even then, they didn't take Cade Anderson. Okay, cool. But there were still other guys, plenty of other guys that you would have expected to see the Angels take before Tyler Bremner. You don't take Cade Anderson, the LSU stud. If there's anything you know about baseball in recent years, LSU, they've got a stud starting pitcher every year. The arguments were that he was the most MLB ready, which, that again, does not make sense. If you want the most MLB ready guy, this felt like him. He's got a good range of pitches, right? A good variety of pitches. The control was a lot better. He's still going to give you, maybe he's not got the potential to be a Cy Young guy, right? But it felt like he was at worst, he's a number 3 in a rotation, high floor type of guy, which we are okay with them taking, right? Liam Doyle, the Tennessee guy. You just have the Tennessee pick last year with Christian Moore. Liam Doyle, very interesting, right? Seth Hernandez, we already talked about him. But even if you don't take any of those guys, which, in case you need me to remind you, we have the number 2 pick. And Eli Willits was the number 1 pick. So you're telling me you have the pick of the litter in terms of who you can take. It's not like you're picking 8 and you have to hope that one of those 8 guys gets to you. You're picking 2 and all of them got to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the pool. And you take the one that is ranked no matter what ranking system you use. And I'm not going to come here and act like I have been scouting any of these players, right? I'm not coming in here and saying that I'm rooting against him. We've got people in here saying, I agree with you, Robert. I'm rooting hard for Bremner. The kid doesn't deserve the hate. I totally agree. And it's one of the only really bummer things about the draft in every sport now is because there's so much coverage, because there's so many mock drafts and rankings. We see a guy that we think should get picked 20th, get picked 2nd, and we roast it. We flame it like we're doing right now. But the only kid that doesn't deserve it is Tyler Bremner. He didn't choose to be picked 2nd. He didn't choose to be ranked 20th, right? So we are not at all ripping into him. And I'm not saying he can't be good, right? I'm not saying that one bit. But guess what? He better be good when you skip on 4 guys that seem more MLB ready. Tyler Bremner was ranked 18th, according to MLB.com. He was ranked in the top 20 in a couple of the other ranking sites, right? But how in the world do you take him over Cade Anderson, who's ranked number 2, Ethan Holiday, who's ranked number 1, Seth Hernandez, who's ranked number 3, is the local guy, is the high school guy? It's just crazy. And I know that there's a lot of people assuming it's a money thing, not wanting to fill up the slot. I don't know. It better not be, though, man. Oh, my goodness, it better not be. Because then I will really lose it. I will really lose it. Like, really, really, really lose it. It's just frustrating. I've got people in here saying, rightfully so, how do you pick the guy who went to UC Santa Barbara over the guy who went to LSU, over the guy who went to Tennessee? I'm not usually one of those guys, right? College is college. But if you truly are going off of, we want the most college-ready guy, do you want the guy who was balling for LSU, a guy who was balling for Tennessee, or do you want a guy who was on UC Santa Barbara, right? And I get it. You're all saying, guys, it's the money. It's the money. I know it's probably the money, but it better not be the money. I'm telling you, it better not be the money. You don't get to pick number 2 in the draft very often, right? Everyone's slamming me. The pick is about money, no doubt about it. It's about money, Gavin. It's always money. It is a money issue, I know. But guys, I'm just even when you have the cheap buffoon owner that is Artie Moreno, you would think that he would understand that the number 2 pick is one of the few times that you just have to shut up and make the right move. It's one of the times, the only times. I mean, you would love to do it every time, but at least this time. You literally are not allowed to pick in the top 10 next year because of the new rules. You got to pick outside of 10. And so with your huge opportunity to get your future starter for the next 10 years, to be along in this core. I know some people are acting like if you get a guy who doesn't join in 3 years, like you get a guy like Seth Hernandez who comes up in 4 years, that he's going to miss out on this core. Neto will be in his prime. Moore will be in his prime. O'Hoppe will be in his prime. Shawnee will be in his prime. Sure, will Mike Trout be done? Will Taylor Ward be done? Probably, right? But still, the core is the core. If you do want to go college ready, you get a guy like Cade Anderson, the number 2 prospect, some people's number 1 prospect. Liam Doyle, some people's number 2 prospect, right? And then that guy can be there in a year or 2 while Trout's still here, while other guys are still here, while all of our young guys are in their prime. But instead, we make a very, very questionable selection. So none of the things I said there changed anything in the sense that Bremner can still be all those things. He can still be a guy that's on the team in a year and a half trying to be one of our top guys. But guess what? If we took a Cade Anderson and it didn't work out, we would just blame bad luck and maybe our pitching coaches. But if Bremner doesn't work out, you blame bad luck and the pitching coaches, but you blame Menagian and you blame Artie Moreno, and it might be a fireable offense for Perry. It might be one. Unless he was literally told he cannot make this move. But yeah, it's frustrating. Again, I'm not going to act like I know everything about Bremner, everything about Anderson, everything about Doyle. I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? My job here is not to be the scout college and high school pitchers guy. My job here is to give you a post-game show. And I'm sure the Super Halo Bros will do a phenomenal job on tomorrow morning's show breaking down this pick. But as someone who, like you guys, is a fan of the team and who knows a little bit about how this stuff works, I cannot believe the Angels did what they did today. And again, this should have been an easy day. Just select one of those guys. You're given a gift by the Nationals taking Willits when they probably shouldn't have. You have Ethan Holiday there if you want the guy who's been talked about as the number 1 prospect all year. But if you don't want to go there and you want to go starting pitcher, you had the top 3 starting pitcher options available in Anderson, in Doyle, in Hernandez, and you didn't pick any of them. And again, what a day it was for me, my beloved Chelsea, FIFA Club World Cup champions, and yet I'm not happy right now. Only this team could come into a day where you're picking number 2. It should be a good day no matter what. You're picking number 2, and you're coming in with a sweep opportunity. And you go 0 for 2 in both of those chances, and you go so bad. You miss so bad on the game, and you miss so bad on the pick that you've lost all vibes. You've lost all positivity, and now you go into this All-Star break pissed off. Only the Angels. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Shout out to everybody in here. As always, try to keep your heads up somehow. Remember that we did still end this first half with a series win. It's very hard to remember that, but we did. And we're 2 games under 500. We've got an opportunity, as always, to get back to 500 when we come back from this break. But for now, enjoy the Home Run Derby tomorrow. Enjoy the All-Star game. We'll talk plenty about this pick in the future. Make sure you tune into the Super Halo Bros, the daily show tomorrow morning, because they will talk all about it. But for now, I'm signing off. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Keep your heads up. And as always, even after a day like today, go Angels. And again, Akura, man, I hear you, and I'm not dissing the guy. Bremner could be great. He could be. Larry, I totally agree. I really hope he works out. I'm shocked and kind of annoyed, especially because most likely, if it is a money thing, that means that the Angels are admitting firsthand that he is not their ideal guy, right? They're admitting that they were too cheap to get their ideal guy. And that's what makes it all so frustrating. But keep your head up. Take care, everybody. Have a great break. And I guess I won't see you guys for a couple days since there won't be a game until the 18th. So enjoy the All-Star break. I'm going to have the break as well. And I'll see you guys on the 18th when we take on those Phillies. Until then, take care. and go Angels.